To graduate from CSU Long Beach with a bachelor's degree, you need to complete not only courses related to your major, but also a whole set of general education or GE courses. In this video, I show you how to find courses that fill your GE requirements, and specifically, I want to talk about these topics. What are GE requirements? How do you know which of those requirements you still need to fulfill? How do you identify specific courses that meet those requirements? And finally, once you find and enroll in a course that you think will fill a requirement, how can you double check to make sure that you're correct about that? First, what are GE requirements? They're just types of courses that all undergraduates need to complete in addition to their major-specific courses in order to get a bachelor's degree. They're intended to give you some breadth in your education and also some flexibility in the actual courses that you take. There's quite a bit of variation among students in the specific set of GE requirements that applies to each student. That depends on when, for example, you started at community college or at CSU Long Beach. So here's one common set of requirements, but it may not necessarily be the specific one that applies to you. These requirements include lower division courses. So for example, all of these courses are lower division or LD, and as well as a few upper division courses. So these three courses are upper division or UD courses. All majors in the Department of Biological Sciences take upper division genetics, biology 370, and that fills this upper division B requirement. So you don't really need to worry about that because it will be filled by a course that we'll otherwise ask you to take. But all students also need to complete an upper division C or Arts and Humanities GE, as well as an upper division D or Social Sciences GE. On the right hand of this slide, you can see that you also need to complete the GWAR, the Graduation Writing Assessment requirement. That's not actually a GE, but it is another requirement for your major. To complete this, you first need to take an exam called the GWAR Placement Exam, or the GPE, and when you complete it successfully, you can then take a writing intensive class. I'm including this here, even though it's not technically a GE, because this writing intensive class can double count with your upper division C or D requirement. That way you can complete 3 requirements, upper division C, D, and the writing intensive class in just 2 classes. So we usually suggest that students take one plain upper division C or upper division D GE, and then take the other one as an upper division C or D / writing intensive class. So for example, if you took a plain upper division D, you would take an upper division C / writing intensive class. Or it could be the opposite. You could take a plain upper division C and then an upper division D / writing intensive class. That is completely up to you. How do you identify the GE requirements that you still need to take? You go to your student center and you find your academic requirements report, or the ARR. It lists all of your GE requirements along with the GWAR requirement, and it indicates whether or not you fulfilled those requirements. If any of those has a red square next to it, like this, it means that you have not yet fulfilled that requirement. If it has a green check like this, it means you have already fulfilled that requirement. Once you know which GE requirements you still need to fill, how do you identify classes that will fill those requirements? It's pretty easy. You go to the schedule of classes for the relevant semester and you search by GE requirement. Click on that tab. That will show you a long list of GE categories, and you just scroll down to find the correct one. You click on that and it will show you a list of classes that fulfill that particular requirement. So let's try this for 4 classes that fill 4 different requirements. You can do this for any GE requirement. I've just arbitrarily picked 4. So we'll look for a D1 and an EGE. Those are both lower division. Then we'll look for an upper division CGE. And finally, we'll look for an upper division D / writing intensive course. That is one that fills both the upper division D and that writing intensive requirement that I mentioned earlier. So let's look first for D1 and E courses. And to do this, we need to go to the class schedule. So I've just searched in any browser CSU LB schedule of classes and picked the relevant semester. I picked fall to 2024 for this particular case. And we're just going to scroll down and search by GE requirement. And remember, we're looking for a lower division D1. So we just scroll down and find the correct area. So we're looking for the D area, and we're going to click on the D1 category, and that should bring us to a list of courses that fill this requirement. So History 172 fills that requirement. History 173 fills that requirement. And here you can see History 300 is also listed. But I just want to remind you that this course needs to be a lower division course. History 300 is an upper division course, so it won't actually work for filling your lower division GE requirement. So you need to be cognizant of the course numbering. To fill a D1, you're looking for a lower division course, so you need a 100 or 200 level course. Let's go back and look for an EGE. So again, we just scroll down and do the same thing. Again, this needs to be a lower division course as well. So scrolling through this, you can see the first course listed is an upper division course. It's 300 numbered. Anthro 315, Anthro 353 is next. Let's see if we can find a lower division one. Sure. So here's Art 101 and Art 121, both of which are lower division E category courses, so they'll fill that requirement. I do recommend that when you find a course that's interesting to you, say perhaps Art 101, you immediately go to a browser and type in CSULB Art 101, or whatever the prefix and the number are for the course, and a top hit for that will be a web page that tells you what the prerequisites for that course is. So some of these courses, for example, may be restricted to majors within that department, and you need to know that because that will restrict you from enrolling in them. So that's true for some art classes, for example. I don't know about these particular ones. This is a very long list, but I'll just scroll down rapidly here just to show you a little selection. So here's Comparative World Literature 210 and 215. Both of those work. 220 works as well. Consumer Affairs 223 works. You have a huge array of options here. Let's go back and look for an upper division C. So again, we're going to go to the area, which is the C, and we're going to look at number 4 there is upper division in arts or humanities, upper division C. We just want a plain one that is not writing intensive. So we're going to scroll down here. These are all actually upper division, 300 or 400 levels. So Africana Studies 400, for example, Africana Studies 454. Let's look for another department. Here, American Studies 350 works as well, for example. And again, this is a long list with many options. Remember that we're looking for a course that is not writing intensive. How do you know that a course is writing intensive or not? So the way you do that is by looking at this line under the course title. So for example, if you're looking at American Studies 350, in the line underneath it says 3 units GE area C3, F. If that line includes the word writing or has the initials capitalized WI, it's a writing intensive course. So American Studies 350 is not a writing intensive course, so it would be a plain upper division C, so that would work for that. Let's see, American Studies 310 is also a plain upper division C. Let's find a writing intensive class. Oh, here's one, Art 311. So you can see in the line underneath the course title, it has F-writing. That indicates that this is a writing intensive class. So if you were looking for a plain upper division C, you would not sign up for this class. Let's do our last one, which is looking for an upper division D writing intensive class. So we go to area D, we look at upper division in social sciences. And again, we're looking for a writing intensive class here. So we just need to scroll through this and look for a course in this list that has writing in the line underneath the title. And so far I've not found one. They do not have writing or WI in that. Oh, we found one. Anthro 329, Cultural Diversity in California, has F-writing in it, so this is a writing intensive class. So if we're looking for an upper division D/writing intensive class, this is a good class to take. If we're looking for a plain upper division D, well, Anthro 314 would work for that, for example. Finally, once you've found a class that meets some requirement, or you think meets some requirement, and you've enrolled in it, how can you check to make sure that you didn't make a mistake? The way you do this is to go back to your academic requirements report and to look at that specific requirement. Before you enrolled for a course for that requirement, it should have had a red square. But once you enroll in it, immediately after you enroll in it, that red square should turn into an orange diamond. So here, for example, if you were trying to enroll in a C1 GE, so here's the C1 GE, you can see that there's an orange diamond next to it. That means you have chosen the correct class. That orange diamond indicates that you're fulfilling that requirement is in progress. So that's great. If you are trying to enroll in a C2 GE, for example, right here you can see there's a red square. You failed. You picked the wrong course. So if that's the case, then find another course, drop this one, and replace it with your new course, and then immediately check. It should have turned into an orange diamond if you chose correctly. Hopefully that was helpful. If you still have questions about your GE requirements and the courses you can take to fulfill them, do not hesitate to contact your advisor for help.